all of you, my online classes. I am now going to discuss about the nitrogen containing compounds, especially amines, and that part belongs to +3 second year, means 4th semester CCIX unit 1. So nitrogen containing compounds. Now starts amines. We know the general structural formula for amine compounds is R bond NH2. R means any alkyl groups for the aliphatic amines, and in place of R, phenyl groups if substituted, or any era-alkyl group substituted with the amine functional group, then we get the aromatic amines. So now I am going to discuss a major topics regarding the amines. We know amines are bases. Amine compounds have some basic character, and now I am going to discuss the basic strength comparison. And now, what are the factors affecting on basic strength of the amines? If you see the basic properties or basic characters of amines, then we can explain by using 3 important factors. Mainly, these are: first one is effect of substituents with amine group NH2. Second one, steric hindrance. And third one, effect of solvents. Now individually we discuss these 3 important factors which affect on the basic strength of amines. Now comes to the first point, that is the effect of substituents with amine group. In the later class, we have discussed inductive effect. We can explain the basic strength of amines by the help of inductive effect. If more number of alkyl groups substituted with the amine functional group, then more is the electron density at the nitrogen atom. As a result, the nitrogen atom of amine functional group can accept a proton easily. That's why the basic strength of the amine is more. So in this regard, we can write the order of the basic strength of the isomeric amines. Tertiary amines has greater this order may be according to the effect of substituents. You see, this is the 3 degree of tertiary amine, this is 2 degree amine, and this is primary amine or 1 degree amine. You see, in tertiary amines, there are 3 alkyl groups directly substituted with the nitrogen atom of amine functional group. And here 2 alkyl groups in secondary amine, and here 1 alkyl group in primary amine. All the alkyl groups have a tendency to donate the electrons. They are electron releasing in nature. So they donate the electron to the nitrogen atom of the amine functional groups. So maximum electron donation takes place in case of tertiary amine, so that the available of load per electron at nitrogen atom is more. Hence, such nitrogen atom can accept a proton easily. That's why its basic strength is more. So the order tertiary amine greater than 2 amine greater than 1 amine. But actually this order written as 3 amine. This order is written as 2 amine is more than 1 amine and 3 amine. So let's come to the second method, steric effect. First, we have to know what is steric hindrance. Steric hindrance. We know in an amine there are 3 groups or 3 atoms attached with the nitrogen atom. If large size alkyl groups attached with the nitrogen atom, then there is a crowding of electron takes place around the nitrogen atom. That's why further when a proton attacks to the amine, that takes difficult due to the crowding of the electrons around the nitrogen atom, and this effect is called steric hindrance. So, if steric hindrance observed in a molecule, then its basic strength decreases. That means protonation cannot easily take place. So, according to the steric hindrance effect, the basic strength of amines decreases from primary amine to tertiary amines. So, according to steric hindrance effect, the order of the basic strength of the amine is 1 degree amine greater than 2 degree amine greater than 3 degree amine, because in primary amine there is one alkyl group substituted with the nitrogen atom of the functional amine group, and there are 2 alkyl groups in secondary amine, and there are 3 alkyl groups or 3 substituents attached with the nitrogen atom of amine functional group, so that the basic strength, so that the steric hindrance effect is more occurred in case of tertiary amine comparison to secondary and primary. That's why the basic strength order gradually decreases from primary amine to secondary amine, then tertiary amine. And now let us discuss the third effect, that is effect of solvent. Third effect, that is effect of solvent. Suppose when an amine is dissolved in water, the hydrogen atom of water molecule gets bonded with the nitrogen atom of amine through hydrogen bonding, so that we say the amine is hydrated with water. So during such hydrogen bonding formation between water molecule and amine compounds, some amount of energy released, and that amount of energy is called hydration energy. If the amount of hydration energy released is more, that indicates the protonation takes place so easily. That means the attack of an acid on the amine is more easy, so that the basic strength of the amine becomes more. So in this regard, particularly solvent effect, when a solvent, that means an aqueous solvent, particularly water molecule, when added with amines, amines are hydrated with water molecules through hydrogen bonding. So in that time, what will happen? That can be known by the following following equilibrium equation. You see here, when primary amine gets dissolved in water molecule, then it becomes an ammonium ion. Similarly, when a secondary amine gets dissolved in water, it gives also and when you see, in this way, primary amines, secondary amines, and tertiary amines, when dissolved in water molecule, they form such like ammonium ions. And experimentally, it is found that in case of the primary amine, more amount of hydration energy is released. That means it gives a stable ammonium ion. So when it is hydrated with water, the proton can easily accepted by that amine, so that its stability is more. We can say the basic strength of primary amine is more. Hence, according to the effect of solvent effect, the order of basic strength of the amines is 1 degree amine, greater than 2 degree amine, greater than 3 degree amine. So this is the order according to the effect of solvent. When the solvent is an aqueous solvent or water, but that is reverse for the non-aqueous solvent. If in the instead of the solvent water, any other non-aqueous solvents are used, then the basic strength order may be reversed. That is, tertiary amine has greater basic strength than a secondary amine, and a secondary amine has basic strength more than that of a primary amine. So in general, if we count the combined effect of these three hindrance, you say solvent effect or you say subsequent effect, then actually the basic strength order is 2 degree amine has more basic strength than 1 degree amine, then 3 degree amine. That is the general basic strength order of the amine compounds. The method of preparation of amines. For the preparation of amines, there are three important methods, namely first, Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction. Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction. Second one is Gabriel thalamide reaction, and third one is Hofmann's degradation. Hofmann's degradation reaction. So these three important methods by which you can obtain the amines. Now let's start to discuss about Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction, by which we can get different amines. In Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction, first, when the alkyl halides react with the ammonia molecules, it gives primary amine. Further, when the primary amines react with the alkyl halides, gives a secondary amine, and further, when secondary amine react with such alkyl halide, gives a tertiary amine, and tertiary amine when further react with such alkyl halide gives a quaternary ammonium salt. This reaction is called Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction. Now take an example. Suppose ethyl iodide and alkyl halide when react with ammonia molecule, it gives ethylamine, and it is a primary amine. Ethylamine. Again, ethylamine react with such alkyl halide, ethyl iodide, gives diethylamine. This is the secondary amine. Again, such diethylamine, when treated with ethyl iodide, it gives triethylamine, which is a tertiary amine. Triethylamine. Again, such triethylamine react with ethyl iodide. It gives quaternary ethyl ammonium iodide salt. This is a quaternary ammonium salt, quaternary ethyl ammonium iodide. So in this way, we can obtain primary amine, secondary amine, and tertiary amine. Finally, quaternary ammonium salt from alkyl halide. So this reaction is called Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction. The above reaction, Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction. You see here, first when the ammonia molecule gets reacted with the alkyl halide, it gives an ammonium ion, and such ammonium ion again treated with another ammonium molecule, it comes out as ammonium halide, and we get primary amine. You see RNH2, that is the primary amine. Again, if you continue this process further and further, we can obtain secondary, tertiary, and quaternary ammonium salt. Similarly, again the primary amine further react with alkyl halide. You see, it gives dialkyl ammonium halide. Further it react with an ammonia molecule. It can abstract one H plus ion and comes out with ammonium halide and gives a secondary amine R2NH. And further, the secondary amine further react with alkyl halide. So here just you see this transition takes place here, like here also, and like here also. You see, in all the cases, the lone pair electrons on nitrogen atom gets attracted towards the alkyl group, and the halogen atom gets leave, and we get dialkyl ammonium halide. By further attack of the ammonium molecule, it becomes ammonium halide by abstracting one proton from here, and it results the formation of secondary amine. Therefore, secondary amine gets react with here as well with an alkyl halide. The lone pair electron on nitrogen atom gets attracted the alkyl groups. At the same time, the halogen atom rejects a leaving group, and we get trialkyl ammonium halide. Again, by the addition of one ammonium molecule, it again abstract another proton from here and become ammonium halide, and results the formation of tertiary amine. And again, the tertiary amine react with the alkyl halide, and it attacks the alkyl group of alkyl halide, becomes quaternary ammonium salt. In this way, we can explain the mechanism of the Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction, by which we obtain primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amines, and finally quaternary ammonium salt. Now discuss some important application of Hofmann's ammonolysis reaction. Now there are three important conversions that follows Huckman's monolysis reaction. Now a conversion from ethene to ethylene diamine. How can this conversion carry out? How can we obtain from ethylene to ethylene diamine? Here I am telling you this conversion also follows Huckman's ammonolysis process. Firstly, when ethylene is added with chlorine, it gives dichloroethene, dichloroethane. When chlorination takes place or addition of chlorine takes place with ethylene, it gives dichloroethane. Further, when it belongs to added with ammonia molecules, it gives such a product ethylene diamine. So conversion of ethane to ethylene diamine, one of the example of Huckman's ammonolysis reaction. Okay, that is toluene. From toluene to how can convert benzoyl amine? How can we convert these reactions? This reaction or this conversion also follow Huckman's ammonolysis principle. First, when toluene chlorinated in presence of sunlight, it first gives benzoyl chloride, and further when we added ammonia molecule, that will undergo ammonolysis reaction. Benzoyl chloride undergoes ammonolysis reaction, it gives benzoyl amine. So we can convert toluene to benzoyl amine through Huckman's ammonolysis process. Okay. Another conversion from acetic acid, number 3 application. Suppose acetic acid converted to glycine next to CH2 COOH. This conversion from acetic acid to glycine, this conversion also follows Huckman's ammonolysis process. First, when acetic acid react with bromine with red phosphorus, it gives bromoacetic acid. And when it gets ammonolized by the addition of ammonia, it again changes to glycine, one of amino acid. Glycine is one of an amino acid. Bromoacetic acid, when react with ammonia or undergoes ammonolysis reaction, it is converted to glycine. So from acetic acid to glycine, we can change or convert through the help of Huckman's ammonolysis process. Okay. Second method of preparation of amines, that is your Gabriel thalamide reaction. In this process, we can obtain a primary amine. When a thalamide reacts with potassium hydroxide, it gives potassium salt of thalamide. Again, potassium thalamide reacts with an alkyl halide, it gives an alkyl substituted phthalic acid. Further, such an alkyl thalamide undergoes acidic hydrolysis. It gives phthalic acid and a primary amine. So in this way we can obtain or we can found and primary amine, a primary amine. In case of an alkyl halide, suppose if you take methyl chloride, if you take methyl chloride, it gives N-methyl thalamide and calcium molecule removed as a leading group, and then by acidic hydrolysis hydrolysis this bond, we get phthalic acid and methylamine. This is a primary amine. So by using the alkyl reaction, we can find primary amines. Method of preparation of amine, that is Huffman's degradation reaction. In Huffman's degradation reaction, the starting material is an acid amide. So what is Huffman's degradation reaction? When acid amide react with bromine with an alkali on heating gives primary amine. This reaction is called Huffman's degradation reaction. Now I am writing here the reaction. You see, this is the acid amide when it reacts with bromine and in presence of an alkali, that is potassium hydroxide, on heating it gives the major product a primary amine or called NH2. I have written it. This is the general equation for Huffman's bromamide reaction. Now discuss the mechanism of the above reaction. Firstly, the alkali reacts with the bromine, it gives potassium hypobromous acid, potassium bromide and water. Again, when potassium hypobromous acid ionized gives potassium ion and hypobromous negative ion. Such hypobromous ion when react with acid amide, it gives N-bromo acid amide, and such N-bromo acid amide further reacted with the hydroxide ion, it gives N-bromo acid amide and a water molecule. Now there is a little rearrangement takes place here. You see the alkyl group shift to the nitrogen atom and the lone electron comes forward towards oxygen and nitrogen. As a result, we get alkyl isocyanate product, and the bromide ion. And further, by the attack of hydroxide ion to the atom, such double bonded oxygen becomes negative ion, and now there is a rearrangement also takes place here. These bonds shifted to here, and as a result, such double bonds shifted to nitrogen atom. In this way, the nitrogen atom takes the proton and becomes NH, and we get this ionic intermediates. By further addition of water molecule, you see here the carboxylate ion becomes carboxylic acid and release one OH minus ion. Again, by the rearrangement, such bonds shifted to here and it becomes carbon dioxide, and this proton gets added with such nitrogen, it becomes RNH2, and such OH minus ion releases as water molecule. So finally, we can find a primary amine through Huffman's degradation process. Okay.